Well, Heidi ho, welcome and good morning from Pinnacles National Park, still in California. We rolled in very late last night. In fact, so late that we weren't able to get all of our gear out of our backpacks and all that backpacking gear and things like that, switched back over into our day packs from Channel Islands that we just left. We are not in our campsite, and we knew we needed to make some noise in order to do that, so we've gone ahead and got up really early, first light, made our way here to the trailhead where we're going to begin our exploring here in Pinnacles. We'll tell you all about that in voiceover. Let's go have some fun.
Our hike started at the Bear Gulch parking lot, where we set out on the Condor Gulch trail. The plan? A loop up to the high peaks and back down through the caves. While we get going, let me tell you about the park. Pinnacles National Park is tucked away in Central California, about 80 miles southeast of San Jose. It might be one of the smaller parks in the system, but it's packed with adventure. Covering about 26,000 acres and offering over 30 miles of trails, it's a haven for hikers, climbers, and anyone who likes a little rugged with their relaxation. The official park campground has 134 campsites and is mostly non-electric and dry camping, with just a few RV sites that offer hookups. The RV spots get full sun, while shaded sites are tight and low, making them tricky for taller rigs like Tumbleweed, our RV. Luckily, we ended up in Wilma for this trip, so it was not a big deal. The site photos and measurements are worth double checking before you book. The campground also offers coin-operated showers. However, they are located near the camp store, which can be a decent distance from your campsite. The campground is run by a third-party contractor, and during our visit, bathroom conditions were poor. Clogged toilets, no toilet paper, and minimal upkeep, even midweek. Just a heads up if you decide to camp here. It's unclear if these conditions are related to recent federal funding cuts or just the norm. Due to the low evening temps at Channel Islands, I came down with a cold and wasn't feeling my best this day. After taking some medicine, I just took it slow on the climbs, and honestly, it gave me more time to enjoy this insane views. The best part of this loop was definitely the legendary steep and narrow segment, where we navigated narrow stone steps carved into the rock while using metal handrails and foot supports that were bolted into the cliffs. Spotting condors was a little difficult, and sometimes we confused turkey vultures for one when they were sitting still. In addition to the condors and vultures, we also saw rabbits, lizards, and a rattlesnake, which a ranger told us are abundant, especially when it's warm. Ticks, poison oak, and nettles are also something to watch for, especially if you're hiking with kids. We decided to add a little more mileage by adding in the Bear Gulch Caves Trail. In order to see both sides, we did a modified figure 8, meaning we did one portion twice, but it was worth it. While the trails in the caves are not directional, it is a little tight in some spots to pass someone. For one of our directions, we were going with the flow, and for the other, not so much.
Well, there you go. That was a very fun hike. As far as the distance and elevation gain, well, we had some technical difficulties. One on my fault. I accidentally hit the pause button, lost about a half mile or so, and then we also, when we got down into the caves, lost GPS signal that we think might have lost up to another half. So anyway, we've got to do some maths, some calculation, and then we'll put those numbers down here on what that hike ended up with. What we've done since then is we've had some snacks. We visited the camp store. We visited the visitor center, and then we've made our way around to the west side of the park. It's about an hour to an hour and 20-minute drive. There is no direct road from the east side of the park to the west side. However, there are plenty of hiking trails. In fact, the mountains over our heads right there, well, if you're eagle-eyed enough, you'll recognize those from our morning hike. Also, if you're super eagle-eyed, you'll recognize that the parking lot we're standing in was in the B-roll when we were standing on those very mountains earlier this morning. Anyway, what hike are we on, Alana?
Balcony Trail.
Yeah, we're going to go check out the Balcony Trail. Should be a fairly easy 2.6, also with a cave in the middle. Anyway, let's go check it out.
Balconies Trail is a choose-your-own adventure, with cliffs up high and caves down low. Luckily, we remembered we had our headlamps. Definitely the right call. You'll want your hands free for the rock scrambling and the bit of crawling that comes with squeezing through the balcony's caves. It's part hike, part obstacle course, and totally worth it. The east side of the park is definitely more popular and has the majority of the trailheads. However, if you only have one day to visit, the Balconies Trail on the west side is the iconic trail for the park. Unfortunately, with that side being quieter, the visitor center did have shortened hours at our visit. So if that is one of your must-see stops, you'll want to check their hours before deciding on which side is best for you. Pinnacles doesn't have bear boxes. It has raccoon boxes. And trust us, they are necessary. These little bandits work in teams and aren't shy. One even tried to open our solo stove pellets bag during dinner, while we were sitting right there.
Well, yesterday was a very full day. In fact, we got back later than we had anticipated again, but we were able, after dinner and our shower, to sit down, have ourselves a whiskey, and enjoy a nice solo stove campfire. Now, as far as today, we're not quite sure what we're going to do. We're thinking we're going to just do, what was it called?
South Wilderness Trail.
South Wilderness Trail, if you didn't hear Alana. And that's because the main hiking trails, according to All Trails and the park map, as we were reviewing them, they all are just sort of different ways to getting to the same major highlights that we have already visited in the hikes that we did yesterday. In fact, there is a 12.8 mile loop, which is close to what we hiked, that hits all of the major points. It goes through the caves and everything. So while it's an hour and 20-minute drive from the east side to the west side of the park, the hike itself is really only about 5 to 6 miles to get to the other side of the park. So it's not a very large park. It's just the roads themselves don't connect the two sides. So I think had we known that, our strategy might have been a little bit different to get to Balconies. But regardless, we are happy to have driven the road and seen some of the sights on the other side. So what today's hike will entail? Well, let's find out.
Our final hike started straight from the campground. Sounds simple, right? Well, finding the trail from our campsite turned into a bit of a scavenger hunt. We had to do some backtracking and finally walked on the campground roads to get ourselves pointed in the right direction. Unfortunately, all maps were very outdated and indicated routes that had long been washed out or removed. Once we got going, the trail mellowed out with beautiful open views in the meadows and creek wash. Before we knew it, we spotted the end of the trail sign. We had our snack and then made our way back out.
Well, that was one of those hikes that you didn't know you wanted to do, but now you're thankful that you did.
Yeah.
There really wasn't anyone on it on our way out. We passed just a few people on our way back, but it was just really neat as it kind of went through the woods, through the meadows, and was a little disconnected from the rest. We ended with there's a bluebird right there. We ended with 8.3 miles. Very little elevation change. I think it was under like 600 feet for the whole thing.
Yeah.
Really, one spot was the only spot that added any challenge. It was just a really nice sort of stroll. We're back here to camp. It's still early afternoon. So what's in store next? Well, nothing. We're going to relax. We're going to chill. We're going to get some of our stuff together, get an early shower. We've got some spare ribs or burgers. We haven't decided exactly which one we're going to cook yet, and we're going to relax. And we're also going to make an alternate ending. I'm going to be honest, we got a little bit wordy after this, and then later decided when we're editing, it's just all better off in the voiceover, so you've already heard everything that we had to say. Anyway, we had a great time. Hopefully you did as well. We're off to go check out some redwoods.